Hi guys, welcome to another Divi theme video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Well, a couple of videos ago, we did an underline effect that went from the left to the right under a title here. Somebody asked if we could have it from the middle. Really easy to do. If I just hover over this, you can see that that one's coming in from the middle and expanding. Really easy to do. Once you've got it, you can apply it to any module. If you look at the bottom of these little blurb modules, there's a little line that appears at the bottom there also. And you can even put it on an image if you want to. Really easy to do, so let's get started. I'm going to enable the visual builder. And let's go down. I'll get rid of that. I've got a code module down here. I'll get rid of that also. Great. Let's start from scratch. I'm going to throw a little heading in here. I hit the little dark button to add a module. I'll roll down. There's a heading. I'm going to leave it just like that. I think I will go over to design though. Pop it in the middle. Perhaps make it semi-bold. That's better. Make sure it's in the middle there. Great. Okay, I'm going to go over the Advanced tab now and give this a class name. I'm going to just make one up. I'm going to call mine mline, M-L-I-N-E. It's kind of my shorthand for middle underline. You can call it what you want, but it wants to be unique. Make sure you put it in the class name, not the ID here. Great, well now I'm going to add a little code module to this page. Doesn't really matter too much where you put it. They don't take up much real estate. I'm going to add it just below this image perhaps. There's a code module. Let's just roll back up. So I've put my cursor in the code module there. As we're using CSS styling, I need to write some style tags. So it's left pointed bracket, word style, and right pointed bracket. And we got style tags there. It'll put in the closing one for you. We can write our code in between these two. So I'm going to put my class name in there, which is mline. All class names have a dot or a period in front of them. Dot, mline. I'm going to be using the pseudo element after for this today. So I put 2 colons and the word after. That way we can attach it after our little module there. I'm going to open and close some curly brackets. And we can start writing the code. Well, I've got to tell it that we want some content in there. So I'm going to say content. Colon. Then I'm going to put some inverted commas just as a placeholder. There's no real content there. Put a little semicolon so we can write our next line of code. My little line, I want it to have a position of absolute so that it stays where it should be on this module all the time. So I'm going to say position absolute. Now I want it to be in the bottom left. Actually, the module starts over here, so it'll be over here, bottom left. So I'm going to say bottom 0. It's right on the bottom. But this one today, instead of coming in from the left-hand side, we want to come in from the middle of the module here. So I'm going to say left 50%. That's great. I know you can't see anything, so let's give it a width and a height and a background color, and you'll be able to see it. So I'm going to say width 100%. Height, I'm going to say 5 pixels. Obviously, you're going to want to adjust this to taste. And once I put a color in, you should see it. So let's say background, color, and for timing, I'm just going to say blue. And there it is right there. Now it's the full width of the whole module, which runs from this side of the column to this side of the column, and it's halfway along, so it's right the way over here, which is not really what we want. But we're getting there. So I need to transform it back to the middle. So I'm going to add another one here, just under left. I'm going to say transform, colon translate, which means move basically. Round brackets at the end of translate there. And I'm going to do it by negative 50%. So half of its width, I'm going to pull it back by. So I'm going to say negative 50%. Put a little semicolon on the end because it doesn't read those lines of code below if you don't put that there. There it is. Slap bang in the middle, just exactly where we want it. So to make this happen, We don't want to see it at all initially. So width-wise, I'm going to change that 100% to a simple 0. Then we can create our hover state. Let's copy our class name all the way up to the after there. We drop down below this curly bracket here. I'm going to paste it in there. Just after the E of mline there, I'm going to put another colon in, and no gap, and the word hover. No gaps between any of those. We've now created a hover state. So we can now open and close some more curly brackets. And width-wise, I'm going to say 100%. I want it to be full width again. 100%. And then when we hover over it, it's becoming full length of the module. And like I say, the module stretches the whole of this row here. We'll adjust that in a minute so this line's just under the writing itself. But it's happening instantly. So I need to slow it down, give it a transition duration. So to do that, I'm going to say transition. Now I'm in the regular state now, not the hover one. And I want it to affect the width. I'm going to make mine about 1/7 of a second, 0.7s. And I want it to ease in, so I'm going to say ease. And we'll put another little semicolon there. Now when I hover over, you can actually see it animating in because it's not instantaneous. And it's coming from the middle and shooting out to the sides there. Great. But that looks crazy with our little title there. So I'm going to save what I've got here. We're pretty much done with our coding, except, well, let's just change it to this blue that we've been using here. I've got a little color picker here. Let's see what this blue is. I'll copy it. I'm going to change that blue for that hex code right there. Great, that's the same blue now. Okay, well, let's save this. And to make it the same size as our text there, if I go into this text module, I'll do the same as I did with our last video. I'll put a crazy color background in there. Let's throw a red in there. And you can see how wide it is. Now, if I go in there, over to design, sizing, we've got width here. And I think that's just over 400, I'm guessing. But I'm going to put in, say, 450px. Make sure you put the px on the end. If you don't, it puts in a percent like it's done there. If it does that, just grab the percentage, put px in. And it's done it pretty much. It's still too wide though. Let's just drag this down till it's just touching the edges of the writing there. You'll know when it's too far because it will break into two like that. So I'm going to put it just up there like that. 296 seems to do it. I want it to be in the middle. And I can get rid of that background now because I only wanted to put that in there to show you the width of it. Back to content, background, hit the little trash can. Now when I hover over, that line's only going to stretch the width of our little writing there. And if that's too wide for you, that's fine. Just go back into that code module. I gave it 5 pixels. You can take it down to whatever you want. Great. And once we've got that written in there, we can go into any module. For instance, this one here, give it that same class name. And it's okay if it's already got a class name. You can have multiple class names. I'm going to get rid of the one that's in there. That was our old left align one. And this one's called mline. Now when I hover over that, it's got that little blue line coming in from the bottom of that one also. And like I said before, if you wanted, you can put it on image. You can put it on anything you want. You really can. Advanced, CSS IDs and classes. In fact, I can just change that first letter. And I'll put this code down below the video if anybody wants to copy and paste it. But it's a good idea to write it just so you can get used to it. Let's save our changes here. Save draft. Publish if you're ready. And we'll take a look on the other end. We'll exit the Visual Builder. Go on down. There's our little title. As you can see, we've got that line animating in from the middle outwards. Fantastic. And the same with this little module right there, as we gave it that class name, and the same with this one. Now, for anybody that didn't quite understand what I meant about putting your code here, Really easy. If we go back in here and copy this code, roll down to my little code module right here. Now, when you're using a code module, you need your style tags. When you're writing it in the custom CSS, you don't need that. So I'm going to copy everything in between the style tags there. And I can't put style tags down below in the YouTube description because of the pointy brackets, but this part of the code will be there. So if you're using a code module, just write your own. It's really easy, as you saw. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to delete this whole code module now. I'm going to X out of it and delete it. Code's no longer there, so we shouldn't have our underline effect. All gone, as you can see. Now, if we go to our theme options here, which was in Divi, we're under the General tab, the first tab that you come to. Right at the bottom. If there's something there, you can scoot it down. Not a bad idea to give it a title, and a title's / /*/. Now we can say underline hover, whatever you want to call yours. Then we can drop down a little bit more, and we can just paste that code back in there, as you can see, without the style tags. Once it's in there, make sure you save your changes. If we go back to this page now, we'll save the changes and exit. As you can see, there's nothing happening here because we deleted that code module, but they've still got those class names. So when I refresh this page, it should pull it from our custom CSS panel and we'll have it back. So let's save draft. We'll exit. Go on down. And we got our little hover effect back. And like I say, if you put it in the custom CSS panel, you can use it anywhere on your site simply by giving it that class name. So there you go, guys. I hope that's answered that question. Is how to create your underline from the center animation using a bit of custom CSS. As you can see, really easy to do. Nice little effect to have on your site. You do see this quite a lot on websites. So I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, ring the bell, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget, if you have any questions, pop them down below. I'll do my best to answer them for you, or make a little demo video like this one. Once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.